Hey, everybody. Welcome into another episode of Doc's Daily. I'm Detroit Lenny. I'm joined with Robert Ferringo and Rafael Esparza here on a Thursday, October 23rd. We are live and in full effect, 1 o'clock Eastern. We're here Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern, Saturdays at 11 a.m. Don't forget about our free $60 account. If you're new to Docs, there's a link in the description of the video. You can click on it, give you a free $60 account at the website. You can use that on anybody's premium handicapping picks you so desire. These two knuckleheads, anybody, use that 60 however you want. You do you, Pikachu. And you can also become a YouTube member. In the comments, there's a link. Click that for $5 a month, $4.99. Become a member. You got to supply your own jacket. That's the only stipulation there. Docs Daily, we're live. So Raphael's here to tell us how this affects our NBA prop betting today with my guy Chauncey Bill. By the way, free Chauncey. Okay, I'm pro. Detroit stands behind Chauncey Billups and the allegations that are set forth against him. The man likes to play cards. It's no secret in the city of Detroit. By the way, this is not breaking news.
He's a cheater.
How do we know?
I like playing cards, Lenny, but you don't cheat.
Well, don't go to a high stakes game you're invited to if you don't think somebody's cheating. I mean, I'm just saying.
That's.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. It's cards. Raphael, the player props, though. I mean, we can't bet on that. I mean, they're going to take it away from us eventually.
Yeah, they will. Especially like the players 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we're going to see starting 5 and maybe 2 and stuff like that, just because of what the NBA announced on Pat McAfee's show. I mean, that's why he's Adam Silver. When I'm tired of these people, these NBA beat writers, that the NBA had nothing coming. Then Adam Silver goes on Pat McAfee and says, "Hey, we have already contacted the books about player prop bets." And wow, what a shock! 2 days later, the feds are arresting not one but 2 NBA players. One of them for player prop bets. And the reason why I'm saying one of them, everyone on Twitterverse is going to be like, "Oh, Chauncey Billups fixed NBA games." These are 2 different allegations. 2 different. Only
They're
one
just all
person
lumped together, right?
Yeah, only one person is involved with both, and I think that's why they lumped it together. Only one Daniel Jones is linked to both of them. So Twitterverse is going to make it all sports books are bad. The sports books are the victims here on this one. If it wasn't for the sports books, we wouldn't have caught it. If this was just all going through mob money, then these guys would probably still be playing and games would be fixed. One thing I want to say during a press conference that I watched 3 times, they kept on using the word props. They never said fixed games. They never said
they were very clear about that.
They were very thoroughly when they just kept on saying props. This had nothing to do with games. I've already seen guys with big Twitter accounts already say, "Oh, games are coming next." No, the games, if there were fixed games, they would announce that first before player prop bets, because the player prop bets only cost $200K. That's what one of the games that fixed on his player prop bets cost the books $200K. Poker costs $15 to $20 million into fixed games with high-tech see-through poker tables and contact
X-ray
lenses.
Tables. I know, right?
So it's going to affect some player prop bets. I think if the NBA gets NFL involved in it, then I think we'll see some lower entry prop names come off the board here in the States.
I know you're more plugged in with people in the industry than I am, but I don't see that. I don't see it at all. They're not taking prop bets away. Like,
not all of them.
Right.
Now in the U.S., you probably won't. What I'm saying is you won't be able to bet them like through DraftKings, stuff like that. You have to go offshore like you used to have to do.
No, I think you're crazy. Like, no, they're not taking prop bets away. Like, this is breakage. This is spillage. Like, you got to deal with this stuff.
Define your word prop bets, Robert.
What's that?
Define your word prop bets. Like, are you talking all game prop bets or player performance?
Player performance bets. Then.
Okay.
Player performance bets, I don't think are going anywhere. Like, what was it? Just in the last 12 months, the majority of action now stopped being on sides and totals and have come on everything other than sides and totals, right? Like, you're not putting the toothpaste back in the tube. Like you said, this is breakage. Like, once every 5 years, we're going to have a scandal like this. And then nobody's going to care. Like, come this Saturday of college football, nobody's going to care about this. Like, I only slightly care about it. I really don't. Like, frankly, like I'm way more interested in like, is Lamar Jackson playing this weekend? Is Joe Alt playing this weekend? Like this stuff happens. This stuff has been happening for decades. There was point shaving before, and they didn't stop letting people bet on games. You know, this comes with gambling. Like there's cheating in all aspects of any business that you have to deal with. Just because this is public, you know, it's getting more run. But is this going to change anything? Absolutely not. The amount of money that the teams, that the leagues, that everyone is making from their partnerships with the sports books, the amount of money that the sports books are making by getting John Q. Public in because they'll bet on props. They don't want to bet on sides and totals. Like, no, man. It's
right. But the money that team is generating from DraftKings, if DraftKings is a victim in this situation, don't you think that DraftKings would go back to, say, the NBA and be like, hey, man, you know what? I'm backing out of this deal if your players are going to screw me on it. Like, I feel like there's got to be some kind of regulation. And I get that on Saturday, nobody cares because we talk college football. But today's Thursday, and the NBA is a big, large industry that generates a lot of revenue in gambling.
Like you said, it was $200K. They got hit for $200K. That's nothing.
One time. That's just one. Now, how many times has it been done over the years with multiple people? It opens Pandora's box at the least.
Well, I'll mention this before I go and you guys talk NFL, and I'm thinking Lamar Jackson is playing because why is the number still 6.5? If he wasn't playing, it's not 6.5. But before I go, the one thing I have to blame the books on is, and we did this when I ran books, the reason why put a low limit on a guy that's the 8th team off the bench. If some Joe Smith gets 5 minutes a game, then you put his player prep at, and it's $500 max bet. But the problem is casinos see a guy who just lost $1 million on NBA Wednesday because he played every game, and now he wants to bet Joe Smith over 1.5 points. He wants $10,000 on that. What's the sportsbooks going to do? They're going to give it to him because they just took $1 million from him yesterday. Right. Too bad, too sad. A max bet should be a max bet no matter who you are. So sportsbooks do need to take a little blame. If you want to fix this issue, you fix it right there.
Well, we caught it because of the sports books.
Yeah, exactly.
If it wasn't for the sports books, this stuff would be happening all the time. Like my take on all this is the system works, right? Like the system works. There is no problem. Like there's going to be people that cheat. I mean, we had stuff that happened in baseball with the Astros cheating just a few years ago. We had stuff like coaches cheat, players cheat. Everybody cheats, man. But you have a system in place where you can catch people doing it and weed those people out, and then the rest of the machine just goes on. Like I just don't.
I did an interview this morning and say the sports books are the victims here, and they pretty much laughed at me. I go, if it wasn't for the sports books, this thing would have never been caught. So why are we to blame? We are the ones that caught it. We're the ones that are the victims here.
Right. I don't think anybody's blaming the sports books though.
I don't think so.
Like, maybe random John Q Twitter goof.
But I don't know if anybody feels bad for the sports book either.
No,
I mean?
Oh, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad that they got hit on that Terry Rozier for 200. Like,
I'm like, good job, Terry.
Right, but again, my takeaway is the system works.
Before I go, I'm going to give you a free play.
Yeah, free plays.
I'm going to give a free play before I go. And it's for a football. So Ferringo will be happy that it's a football free play.
Yeah.
I'm taking Justin Herbert over 3.5. Wait for it. Rushing attempts. I think he has a big day with his arm and his legs. He's hit this prop at 2 out of 3 games, 4 out of 7. They need a W. Justin Herbert's going to do everything and anything he can to get a home W. I know the trends about Carson Wentz on TV games or Thursday night game. I think 6-1 straight up, 7-0 against the spread. I could care less. It's still Carson Wentz. This is in the Chargers' backyard. They get a win. I like rushing attempts. And don't forget, kneel downs count as rushing attempts.
Look at you dropping knowledge. There you go. Appreciate you stopping by, Raphael. I know you got all kinds of stuff going on today, so tell everybody we said hi.
Take it easy.
Me and Robert are going to talk football.
Take it easy. Good luck, man.
You're not talking CFL today? I thought this is a CFL betting show. Oh, I thought this was the CFL betting show. I apologize.
No, that's tomorrow. Robert loves to talk CFL on Fridays only.
Take it easy, guys.
All right, that was all breaking. That's all we're going to talk about, that NBA stuff. I am intrigued. I want to know who has the X-ray table and the contact lenses, because I do want a pair of those.
I've heard about that stuff with the contact lenses and with the glasses and how you can mark cards and stuff like that before. That's why, I love poker. I love playing poker. I will only play poker in a casino. I will not. I have never once played poker online. To me, that's the biggest joke ever. Like you're definitely getting cheated. And no, I wouldn't get invited into the game like this. Like, I'm with you. Like, I used to be a sports reporter before I was a sports handicapper. This is a big story, but I don't care. Like, I care.
Yeah, I really don't.
Like, are Joe Alt and Trey Pipkins playing tonight? The right tackle and left tackle for the Chargers. That's what I need to know, because that changes everything about this game. Because there's a lot to hate about this NFL game tonight. Like, I like everything about Minnesota. I love their defense. I love what Brian Flores does. They put so much pressure on people with their blitz scheme. And with the Chargers being so weak on the offensive line, it's a terrible matchup for Los Angeles, right? Minnesota has all that talent at the skill positions. Love everything, but Carson Wentz sucks. Like, he's so bad. Like, you can't bet on or against Minnesota right now. You just can't. Like, you can't trust him. But they're a hard team to bet against, because you put that ticket out there and then it's like, oh, wow, I just bet against Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson.
And then all of a sudden they show up. Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't want to be a fan and just say I think the over in points here, because I really don't. I like some Justin Herbert props. I kind of hope that offensive line is banged up, because to echo Raphael, I think he has a good day with his legs, or a good night with his legs. So bad offensive line means he's got to run more for his life.
I'm worried if he doesn't have his tackles back, I'm worried that this is the game he gets knocked out of, because I actually wrote about this in my power rankings. Those are posted every week on Doc Sports on Tuesday. I wrote about this in like week 2 or week 3. I was like, Justin Herbert is taking way too many shots. Like, way too many shots. He is running more than he ever has in his career, and he's taking more big hits. And like I said, like, Minnesota, they're coming. Every play, guys are coming. They're coming from all over the place, right? And if he gets hit 7, 8, 9, 10 times tonight, like, this could be the game where Herbert gets knocked out and their season goes sideways. Just can't stress enough how important it is to keep an eye on if Alt and Pipkins play. If Alt and Pipkins play, I kind of like the Chargers here. Because again, I don't trust Wentz. I don't trust Wentz on the road. I do think that the Chargers are a little bit due. I have no problem backing Harbaugh, who's been such a moneymaker in his career against the spread. I just think there's a lot of things pointing towards the Chargers if their tackles are playing. If their tackles are not playing, then I was actually looking at the under in this game, just because, again, I just don't see how the Chargers are going to be able to sustain drives.
Like, anybody else plays quarterback for Minnesota, and I maybe take a look at them, right? 100%. I really do. Even in a teasing them up over 7 or something like that. But Carson Wentz, and then Carson Wentz. So first of all, things that I'd make me not want to bet Minnesota, Carson Wentz. Thing number 2, Carson Wentz on the road. Thing number 3, number 1 and 2. And that's enough for me not to bet Minnesota, even in a teaser over 7. But I do think the Chargers are due. I hate being that guy that bets on a team because they're due. But I think the Chargers are kind of due.
Well, just Harbaugh doesn't go on losing streaks, right? Like, throughout his entire pro and college career, like, he doesn't lose 3, 4, 5 games in a row. So the W is coming. And I'm with you. Like, I had a bet on Minnesota, small bet, 1 unit play on Minnesota, and I used them in a teaser last week against Philadelphia. And those back-to-back interceptions that went through, it's like, that's it. That's it right there. That's why this guy is not an NFL caliber quarterback. Then they get down inside the 10-yard line, and he is just airmailing wide open receivers. He's just not a good quarterback. And it's frustrating because now every week it's almost like that's one game that's off the card. Right? Like, Minnesota can't, not betting on him, not betting against him. Like, it just limited my options by 1 just because Carson Wentz is such a friggin' loser. Like, put JJ McCarthy back in there so I can bet against him. Like, he's awful.
I'm more comfortable with that, right? Then you know what you get. But Carson Wentz, who knows? Maybe one day he gets he's one good. Quarter where he goes off. Right. It's any given Sunday, right? Or Thursday in this case. But JJ McCarthy, I think everybody knows that he ain't him.
Right.
So, I feel more comfortable betting against JJ McCarthy than I am betting against Carson Wentz or with Carson Wentz. If that makes any kind of sense.
100% agree. Like
I apologize if my internet is freezing too, by the way. I think I'm lagging because we got real high winds in Vegas. So I might Dorothy it up in Wizard of Oz and scoop on out of Vegas here. Winds are crazy here. So time for Max Brosmer.
Don't think so. Not yet. Not yet. I mean,
you got to be real.
Well, people forget with these rookie quarterbacks and why you see so many rookie quarterbacks running as much as they do is that they like offensive coordinators and head coaches have to like simplify the playbook so much that every pass play is basically one read and run. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Or maybe two. Yeah, it's like one read,
a check down, or run.
Or run.
Yeah.
Those are your
end.
Exactly. So you just can't limit your offense like that.
Yeah, they don't have like a Matt Stafford type idea where he's got 4 receivers, check down, and then possibly throw away, and then maybe run. And then same thing for like a Jared Goff or we saw it last week with Arizona. I rewatched that Arizona Green Bay game. That's why teams have veteran backups, right? Like Jacoby Brissett has come in, and for 2 weeks, Arizona really hasn't lost anything offensively. In a way, Jacoby Brissett's a little bit better than Kyler Murray because he's just a little bit more accurate with the ball, throwing the ball down the field. But they covered the spread again against Green Bay. Green Bay was really lucky to win that game, and that's the difference between having a veteran 10, 12-year guy versus having a rookie backup. That's why all these people talking about Quinn Ewers coming in for Miami. Like maybe at some point in December you want to trot Quinn Ewers out there for 2 weeks just to see maybe what you have. But Quinn Ewers is not solving any of the problems that Miami has right now. Like that's not quarterback wears your head coach wears capris. That's all you need to know. There's 2 coaches that wear capris in the NFL. As grown-ass men, okay? And both of them are on the hot seat. I'm just throwing it out there.
I've been thinking about this today a little bit today too. I get a lot of Giants fans, friends. By the way, I think the Giants are in trouble this week. I think Philadelphia is coming for revenge. They just played 2 weeks ago. Don't forget, like that final score was 34-17 in that game, but Philadelphia was leading 17-13 late in the second quarter. Like it just got away from them in the second half. That's not going to happen. Again, how much is that game in Denver going to linger? But I got a lot of Giants fans friends, right? So I'm thinking if I'm the Giants, Brian Daboll is obviously a clown and a pud, and he needs to go. I think that the best case scenario, and this is for any team looking for coaching in the offseason, Brian Flores should be option number 1. Robert Saleh should be option number 2. Frank Reich from Stanford, if he wants to come back to the NFL, should be option number 3. However, the guy that I'm hiring, particularly if I am the Giants, I would say I would make Mike McDaniel the highest paid offensive coordinator in football. He's obviously getting fired from Miami. He's gone from Miami, right? But the guy is an offensive mastermind. There's no doubt about that, okay? I would say whoever my head coach is, you got to take this guy as your offensive coordinator, and he's going to be the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL. Imagine like Robert Saleh and Mike McDaniel,
as your offensive and defensive guys. I take Frank Reich at that head coach spot all day.
Agreed.
All day. And I think to your point about Mike McDaniels, I agree. Robert Saleh, I think he's a defensive guy.
If Robert Saleh came back to the Giants, helped reestablish that physical New York Giants football mentality of toughness and defense, and then you got Mike McDaniel working with Jackson Dart and Scadaboo and Neighbors and stuff like that, that is a team that you could see go from being a joke, which they are right now, to a 10-win team pretty instantly. Like that's the move. Saleh and McDaniel.
I don't hate that at all.
Nobody's going to do it. No, absolutely nobody.
That's not going to happen. Right? But that is the perfect storm.
Because it makes too much sense. But
who takes the Florida job? Nevada Maverick want to know. And then I want to transition into maybe the best college football game on all week. South Alabama, Georgia State.
Okay. I'm sorry, Nevada Maverick. And first of all, I want to welcome the new members, Vincent Contreras and Eastside LB84. Welcome to the party. Maverick, like I can't even put my head there. Just like I haven't even spent a minute reading any of the articles about this gambling stuff right now. Yeah. I can't think about who's going to be coaching in Florida next week. I got to worry about like how these teams are going to do this week. Like Mississippi State almost beat Florida. Weird situation for Mississippi State to be in, right? Like you lose a game to a team and they're so insulted that you almost beat them that they fired their head coach. Like it's one thing for James Franklin to get fired after they lose to Northwestern as 20-something point favorites, right? Yeah, but it's like Florida was so insulted that Mississippi State almost beat them that they fired their coach. I don't really get that. Looking at that number coming down, though, wondering if that Mississippi State Texas number is going to get below a touchdown. That's one to watch for today between now and 6 o'clock when I release my plays. Texas has not looked good. They lost to that same Florida team that Mississippi State just lost to. Mississippi State, they beat Arizona State at home. Pretty good team. They should have beat Tennessee. They had that game won. Pretty good team. Is Texas on upset alert after they barely escaped Kentucky last week? Got outgained by 200 yards by Kentucky. That's a problem, man. Like, right. So is that sharp money going to keep coming in on Mississippi State and keep pushing that number down? I don't know. We'll see. Where
do you think James Franklin ends up?
No idea.
I don't know. I don't know if he stays in.
He doesn't he's got some SEC ties because obviously
I don't think he stays Big Ten.
He started at Vanderbilt. I could see James Franklin with that big fat buyout, to be completely honest with you. I could see him taking a year off, going on television. He's very well, real smart guy. Now. He's good in front of a camera, stuff like that. I could see him being a little bit more patient and waiting for a job. I don't know. I don't know if he goes back to the SEC. There's a lot of dominoes that fall. Like if what's his face leaves South Carolina and goes to Virginia Tech, now that South Carolina job is open. There's too many dominoes when it comes to college football, and too much like inbreeding with like where guys went to school and where guys were this.
Yeah.
I don't get into any of that. So
that's fair. South Alabama, Georgia State tonight, Sun Battle, battle of the bottom feeders, so to speak. I just like points in this game, but it's because I'm a degenerate. I swear to God, I have a $50 bill on the over, and that's it. And I just did it because I just wanted action in it. And I think it goes over? Sure. Because I don't think I think defense is very, very optional here.
Okay, your feed was a little laggy again. I think you said Denver Nuggets, Golden State Warriors. That's what you're talking about. I'm sorry, I refuse to even like this is the type of game the Sun Belt crap. Like one team's 2-8 against the spread in their last 10, one team's 3-7 against the spread.
Like, what are you doing? Right?
What are you doing? Why are you wasting your money on teams? You're guessing at this point. You're guessing what team is going to show up. Where I legitimately do like Denver. That would be my free play for you tonight. I know that Golden State has a little bit of an advantage here because they already knocked those first game jitters off with their win over the Lakers. Doesn't really put them in a letdown spot. Normally a big primetime win over the Lakers. I'm looking at the letdown in the next game. But Golden State, this is their home opener, so no letdown there. However, I just think this is a really, 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 really bad matchup for the Warriors. They have nobody that can stop Jokic. Most people don't, right? But they don't even have anybody that can match up with him. I think that Denver did a really good job of upgrading the talent level around him. I never liked Michael Porter Jr. I never thought he was a very good player, frankly.
Right.
So I'm glad that they got rid of him. A little bit more by committee with that second unit. They have Valanciunas. I know I screwed that name up. Who is another really underrated, really good big man that they can bring off the bench. I want to see them play the two big men together against a team like Golden State that's so small on the inside. They would just destroy them. So I kind of like the points here with Denver. That would be my free play.
Okay. I don't hate that. I mean, grabbing a couple of points never hurt anybody. I mean, the Nuggets was like, to your point, nobody who matches up well against Jokic. Nobody. There's a handful of people, and that's questionable and arguable at the same sense.
And when Jamal Murray is healthy, which he was not really at any point last year. When Murray is healthy, then he is as good as any guard as there is in the NBA. Okay. Like he is an elite guard. So now you have two elite players going. And like I said, then it just becomes about a matchup thing. I kind of like the length that Denver has on the perimeter with Aaron Gordon, Cameron Johnson, Christian Braun, Tim Hardaway Jr., Bruce Brown. These are all willing defenders too. Right. So when you have a team like Golden State, that's like, all right, we're going to give up the interior, chase us around on the perimeter. I think they have the guys that can chase them around. Like Tim Hardaway Jr. is a guy that will push around Jimmy Butler. Like he's not going to be scared of going toe-to-toe with Jimmy Butler. Cameron Johnson is going to make Jimmy Butler defend him on that other end. So I really like this year's Denver team a lot more than I did last year's team. And I don't know. I've seen some power rankings. They're consistently in everybody's top 10, but I think that they are the biggest threat to Oklahoma City. I think that they're the second best team in the NBA right now. That going into the season, Denver is my number 2. A lot of people might not have them rated that highly, but I love what they're bringing to the table.
I don't hate it. I mean, I feel like when you have a healthy Murray, to your point, and a healthy Jokic, you can compete against anybody between those two. So I'm more in the NHL today. There's a big slate of the NHL.
What do you like in the NHL today? Come on.
I'm going to dabble with some draws tonight. I think there's some potential in some draws tonight in the NHL. Looking to go in overtime. I think this Utah and St. Louis game is just bound for shit. Okay? It's bound for 2-2 tie. It's just bound for an overtime tie. I tell you that the Wings were on a rebound tonight, but they're on a back-to-back. I mean, do I think they can compete? Yes, against the Islanders, but Buffalo just handed them an ass whooping last night.
That was a game that I immediately wrote down because I like that underdog value with Detroit. And, I've been relatively consistently betting against the Islanders this year. But the more I kind of looked at that game, the more it felt like a little bit of a trap. The money is split up pretty evenly, 50-50. Tough to trust the Islanders as favorite. But I look back at the Islanders' schedule and their results and stuff like that from the season. Like, maybe these guys aren't that bad. Like, they beat Edmonton at home. Okay, then they go to Ottawa, tough place to play.
Tough place always.
And they get a win. They handled San Jose. Like, the final score there was only 4-3 in that game, but they really dominated that game pretty much from start to finish. Their other losses at Pittsburgh, who has gotten off to a solid little start, Washington and Winnipeg. So the Islanders have been playing very, very good teams, and they haven't been getting run off the ice. So Detroit is one of those teams that I'm like, I see them plus 130, plus 135. I'm like, yep, done. Give me Detroit. I like that underdog value. But this one I actually typed up and then deleted off the card because I feel like it might be walking into a little bit of a trap.
I could see that. And being a Wings fan, the most frustrating thing for me, I'm not a Dylan Larkin fan. Okay. I know he's homegrown and all that. And from Michigan and all that and blah, blah, blah. And he's been the captain. He's silent kind of leader, whatever. I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan of him. I'm just really not. And I like tonight, if the Wings go out and dominate the Islanders or win this game, then that just shows me everything that it just reiterates everything I feel about the Wings and that they will take nights off whenever they want. And that pisses me off because last night they look like they took the night off against Buffalo, which is not Buffalo is a sneaky good team, but they're not a great team. Okay. And
they're a bottom tier. Yep.
Right. And you still go into Buffalo. That's a game you should have competed against and should have won, to be honest with you. And you didn't even you were never in that game. I watched that game from start to finish. You were never in that game. And if they come out and turn it on, then that's going to really piss me. If the Wings win tonight, I'll be mad.
Yeah.
I'll be mad. I'll be mad because I'll still be mad about last night. And it'll just show that. But if they come out,
who are they, right? Like to your point, who are they? Are they the team that won 5 straight against top competition? Beat Florida, beat the Oilers. Didn't they beat the Oilers during that streak? Yep. They swept Toronto on that back-to-back. Okay, so are they that team? Or are they the team that you mentioned that takes a game off, loses a game it shouldn't to Buffalo, and are they going to do it again? A little weird that they're underdogs tonight the same thing. Like that's what got my attention. I thought that they might be favored just because they have gotten off to a little bit of a better start to the Islanders, but scary game. You know, and going back to that Blues game, I think this number is short. I don't think people are giving St. Louis enough credit for how good they are at home. St. Louis is 17-4 in their last 21 home games. They're 11-3 in their last 14 home games. They are a very, very good team, and they just lost at home. Just lost in overtime to the Kings. Is a team that's won 17 out of 21 at home going to lose back-to-back home games? I don't really think so. And Utah, they're also in kind of a letdown spot because they just came off a nice overtime win over Colorado. It's Colorado, right?
Yeah.
So we got one team in a bounce back, one team in a letdown, and a really, really small number. Like I really thought that number would be closer to -140. So a little bit surprised there, but I like St. Louis a little bit tonight too.
I like, so this Utah team is going to be scrappy, okay? And they can score, but St. Louis plays really well defense. They're a really good defensive team. They match up really well. This could be a good game. Like I said, this could be a 2-2 overtime game, and I wouldn't be surprised if St. Louis wins this game. I will not be surprised if that. But if St. Louis comes out here and wins this game 4-2, I'm not surprised about that either. I'm really not. You know what I mean? So
yeah, a couple other like potentially juicy underdog payouts here. Pittsburgh at Florida and Chicago at Tampa Bay. Look, Tampa Bay, they are not the Tampa Bay that we've been betting on for the
here
last.
We go with the -300s already.
Right. Like, what are we even talking about? Like these guys have lost like 8 of their last 10 games going back to last year, and they haven't looked good doing it. You know what I mean? Like they aren't playing good hockey. They aren't playing any type of defense. And it's kind of the same thing with Florida. Like, remember, back-to-back winning cups, injuries early in the season. How seriously are they taking October and November? I don't think very seriously. And you look at Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh long-term, no. Age is going to catch up with them. The trade deadline is probably going to catch up with them while they dismantle what they've put together. But they're playing really good hockey right now. Same thing. Like all their primary guys are healthy right now, which they weren't last year. I don't think it's a fluke that they're 5-2. I think they're playing good hockey. Now, again, are they going to hold this together for 7 months? No, they're not going to.
Not even a little bit, right?
But right now, with the way they're playing, you can't tell me that they are should be a +170 underdog at home to a Florida team that looks completely disinterested. So those are some underdogs. And then last one, I have taken it on the chin with these guys. I keep betting them. I keep waiting for them. Is San Jose going to get that win, man? Are they going to get that first win? They've lost 15 in a row. They haven't won since like March 23rd or something like that. Like it's going to happen, man. Yeah. Like I am very, very confident that
I'll tell you what,
0-82 this year, right? So
the Rangers at home, I mean, they're 0-4 to start the year. Right. So, I played
a 1-unit play on San Jose over the Islanders in regulation. And it was it was +295.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, I'll take that. Them on the money line, them plus the 1.5. They covered the 1.5 for me. But I'm like, look, when San Jose finally gets that first win, it's going to be a big ticket for somebody. I know you're not supposed to bet against a streak, but they're going to win a game. San Jose is going to win a game before the end of the month. That's my other other 3 predictions. So maybe
you're limited. It's like 8 days. I mean, we're 8 days away. I mean, I don't know.
They got like 4 shots. They're gonna beat somebody they're not supposed to, which they're not supposed to beat anybody.
Absolutely.
Obviously. But their next 3 games, they play what? The Rangers, the Devils, then I think Minnesota. Yep. And then they're home against the Kings, Devils, Colorado, and Detroit. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know where the W is coming, but I know that the W is coming.
I'll say, I think by the way, the last thing I'll say about hockey, and we'll get out of here. I know we're over time. The Kings and the Stars, that's going to be playoff hockey. Okay. I'm telling you right now, it's October 23rd, and that's going to be playoff caliber hockey. And it's good. And if you want a lot of goals, don't watch because it's going to be really defensive battle. I'm not saying to take the under or anything like that. I'm going to live bet that game. I'm a hockey junkie. I'll probably be watching 6 NHL games tonight.
Nice.
And then somebody and I'll get notifications on my phone about NFL because nobody cares about
I will be the exact opposite. I will be watching the NFL and I will be checking my phone for hockey scores. And another one that I'm looking at, Carolina, Colorado. If you want to watch another good game, that's going to be a really good game. I hit a 7-unit against Carolina when they were in Vegas, when they got their first loss. Yep. I actually kind of like Colorado again here. I think Carolina got a little bit out in front of their skis with that big winning streak to start. 2 of the toughest venues back to back. Like you go to Vegas, then you go to Colorado. 2 good teams. Colorado coming off a loss. The number keeps coming down though. The public likes Carolina in this game. But that's whether you bet it or not, that's gonna be one to watch right there. That's gonna be.
I think anytime I can get a short price on Colorado minus 130, 120, I'm just gonna bet it because they're I think top 2 team in the NHL. Colorado Avalanche.
Okay.
I really do feel like that. I think that they're gonna make a deep run in the West. They're the team to beat, I think, in the West. So. All right, guys, that's it for us. Robert, you got a lot going on. You'll be back tomorrow. You'll tell us everything you got going on over the weekend. What drops tonight at 6:00 Eastern? Tell everybody. Big football card. I've had 8 out of 11 winning football weeks. And going back to October of last year, my clients are up plus $10,640, I believe, for $100 per unit bettors. So I love this week's football card. Not as many plays. We're not going 40 plus. This week, Lenny. Not as many plays, but the ones that I do have, I really like in both college and the pro. Like right now in the NFL, I might only have 4 plays in the NFL, but I really like. Would you really like those 4 plays? All 4 of them. So let's go. Let's make it 9 out of 12. All right, let's get after it. Don't forget about us tomorrow, 1:00 Eastern. We will be here. Good luck unless you're against us. We'll see you guys on the next one.